Yo, what is good, family? Hope you all are having an amazing day. Let's kick it off with today's session. This setup was broken down today and executed on the live session with the private group of students today in English. And this was one of those that, played with a lot of people's emotions because it was most of the time in negative, eating drawdown until the moment that market skyrocketed, gained strength, and eventually, did a very nice extension to the upside. Bitcoin looks like it's gaining again the strength, and we are capitalizing on those movements every single day when the market provides the good setups. So basically, let's put the replay mode again at 9 a.m. as always, so we can go back to the exact moment when we started the session. 8:55 a.m. exactly before the session starts. And it's very important that we understand the whole setup because the idea actually went active straight with the opening candle. If you remember, with yesterday's setup, we went active after the market did an internal range. And today is completely the opposite with 8 a.m. candle, sorry, 9 a.m. candle, market literally activated the setup, giving us a trading session of less than 5 minutes. So it's good, but you have to be aware of all the movements, all the structure, everything that market is doing before the open. That's why showing up to the charts 5 minutes before the open is crucial, so you can realize about all these type of things regarding the structure in fake outs, liquidity, and everything. Basically, your pre-market analysis. What do we have here? Clearly, right here is the opening of the session. We're coming from this bullish structure. This bullish structure is like this. We have this low, lower high, and lower low. That's basically the change of the trend. And it's very important that we see how the price is building this structure. First of all, we have low, high, higher low, higher high. We have to realize how this candle was built because we can have two possibilities. This one or this one. All depends on which point was made first. This candle first made the high and then the low, or first made the low and then the high with a no. So we have to go to the 1 minute and see in the 1 minute structure which level was done first. This candle is from 8 a.m. until 8:04, so we can mark this up from 8 a.m. until 8:04, and we can see that price first did the high and then did the low. This means that we have an impulse and then we have the pullback. Now we go back to the M5 and we can easily say that exactly market did first the high and then did the low. Now with this clear, now we see the rest of the trend pretty clear. We have this higher low that makes this higher high. And then again, we have to go to the 1 minute because we have apparently this candle making the higher low and this candle making a higher high. Now let's go back to the 1 minute. This candle is from 8:15 on from 8:15 to 8:19. So let's go there from 8:15 to 8:19. There we go. So basically, we have impulse, pullback, impulse, pullback, impulse. This is the main thing we have to understand. In the 5 minutes time frame, we have impulse, pullback, impulse, pullback, impulse. Now, this bearish break off structure is very crucial. That's why I'm breaking down all of this. I mean, you can ask, Charlie, but why are you breaking this down? Well, because this, what I'm going to break down right now, is extremely important. We have a bearish BOS. Now let's go over the pattern that we broke down a few times already on the YouTube channel. When we have a break off structure, let's say we have 1,000 impulses, right? And then market does a bearish BOS and takes all the higher lows. takes the lowest higher low but respects the lowest low. Okay? This means that if the market goes up, now we have what? We have a first impulse, first pullback, second impulse. This means that if now we have a second impulse, we can catch an entry as a rule of the third impulse. Fantastic. So this is very important because this is the buildup of a rule of the third impulse. Now, another variation that can happen is, again, same thing, bullish break of a structure. We can have a lot of impulses. Then we can have a bearish BOS. And market takes all the higher lows, but respects the first higher low. Right here, it takes the first higher low. Right here, it is respecting the first higher low. This means that you can understand the structure like this. First impulse, first pullback, second impulse. You can actually place a buy stop right here. As you understand that price can create right now the third impulse and you can catch the entry to the upside. All right, these two drawings are super important. Take a screenshot, make a drawing of them on your notes, whatever, but this is super important. So much value right here in YouTube, guys. I mean, I have to chill a little bit with the value in YouTube, but whatever. I cannot keep myself away from this. We have this bearish BOS, and it takes clearly this higher low and also takes this higher low. We don't have any other higher low. We only have this low, which is the lowest low. So we are in this type of variation. Let's call this liquidity, entry by liquidity grab type A, entry by liquidity grab type B. All right. This will be a entry by liquidity grab type A because we are taking all the higher lows and we are respecting the lowest low. Right afterwards, the market creates a higher high. Same thing. Grabs all the liquidity, respects the lower low, creates a higher high. Same thing that we are doing right here. So now we have low, high, higher low, higher high, and then the higher low is right here. Why? Because we are on a bullish structure. This candle's high is not breaking previous candle's high. Therefore, we have a pullback, second pullback, done. First impulse, first pullback, second impulse, second pullback, potential entry to the third impulse. That's it, period. Okay? That's why the entry. All right, entry at the second higher high by a buy stop. Entry, as always, below the lowest low, right? Now, entry is activated on the very first candle of the session. And then, as you saw, let's right now get out of the replay mode. Market was actually doing a lot of consolidation. This was not one of those clean setups, textbook S scenarios. Market did a lot of mitigation, liquidity grab, and everything, but at the end of the day, you're not interested on any of this. You are interested on catching your setups. First trade of the day. That is it. Entry goes active at 9 a.m. Boom, you can close the laptop, you can close the phone, whatever. You do not care. All right? You do not care. What you care about is executing the first setup of the day. Now, with that being said, that's everything. All right? We have a few things more to break down on the Bitcoin chart, but I will keep it for the private group of students. You know, you can ask me if we have available spots for the private group of students on the description of the video. You will see my Instagram. You can send me a DM. We have available spots. You will have access to all my intensive courses and all my strategies, to all the live sessions that we do every single day from Monday to Friday in Spanish and English, where I give this exact same entries. and also to the private app where I also send all my market ideas from Forex in crypto. So with this being said, family, see you in the next videos. Let's get it.